Hey everyone, today's introduction of one of my reptiles is our male Woma Python, or as pointed out to me by some Australians, Woma Python with an accent, and by other Australians that I don't need to do that, so I'm just always wrong, I guess. But this guy is absolutely amazing. There's not nearly as much diversity in like the color with the Woma Pythons as there are other species of pythons, even Australian pythons, obviously those being like the scrubs and the carpets, but there's also waters as well. But the interesting story about this guy and his girlfriend, who I'll introduce probably relatively soon, she's just sleeping at the moment, is that a lot of this has to do with kind of the community that is in the reptile hobby. So a lot of the times people will call the reptile hobby an industry, a community, a hobby, all these different things, and they are all fairly applicable. But in the case of these guys, it does really have to do with not only the hobby, but also a community. So, as I've mentioned in quite a few of my different videos, that I work fairly closely with an educational group called Nature's Educators. They're based out of Florence, Colorado, and they mainly work with raptors, or birds of prey. And they have a couple other animals in there, like they have a really cool African pied crow, as well as a few reptiles, amphibians, and invertebrates. And and I've worked with them on a number of things. They were some of the first people to be part of my Halloween Spooktacular, which at the time of this recording, I won't be doing a Halloween special this year because it takes so much time, energy, and honestly money, and the videos never do very well. So I'll probably just repost a lot of them throughout the month of October, and maybe if we get a bunch of interest this year, now that we've grown a little bit, maybe we'll do something again next year. But they've also done a whole lot of stuff. They've helped me out, and I've helped them out, between them moving different places. I've taken different animals for them. I've now had one of their large animals in one of my educational programs. They've helped me out with my videos. It's really great mutual relationship that essentially we've kind of built up as a community. And in the case of the Woma Pythons, because now that we're going back to talking about them, a person who knew them was thinking about getting rid of their Woma Pythons. They had successfully produced a clutch of eggs, and now they were turning them over. I'd never understood that mentality, but a lot of people and breeders do have the mentality where I produced eggs, they gotta go. And that's maybe why I'm a bad ball python breeder, because I still have my normals and single genes from almost 11, 12 years ago, so meh. But instead of just turning it over to a local reptile store that honestly was in not the best shape at the time, they asked if I could potentially give them a good home, knowing that these guys are not ball pythons. They are longer. They are usually more food motivated. They also have a reputation of being, let's just say, chewers. A lot of times when a snake will actually grab and they realize that it's not food, they'll usually let go fairly quickly, or they'll wrap and constrict. All of the Aspidites, so the Woma Pythons and the black-headed pythons, they have a tendency to just grab on and to just kind of chew and work on. And potentially that's because a lot of their diet is cold-blooded or ectothermic creatures like monitors and snakes that requires them to really get good grips on before consuming. However, both this boy, who I actually work with quite a bit more than his girlfriend, are both really great. And now, back to Nature's Educators again, we're actually currently taking care of a couple of their animals while they are looking to essentially build a brand new facility. One of them is another Woma Python named Bindi, who absolutely works up and earns that reputation. She will eat and strike anything that comes near that cage, but these two are really great. So they asked Nature's Educators about it, and in the end they ended up contacting me, and they said, okay, there's this guy, he does reptile education stuff, he's worked with us, we like him a lot, so I think he'll do a really good job of taking care of these animals. And so in the end we ended up getting them, and it worked out really great. The only bad part about this is that they just had eggs, and the female was taking a long time to bounce back. She wasn't taking meals every single time, both live or pre-killed or frozen thawed. So it was taking her a while to bounce back, to put on weight. Not to mention, she was in quarantine right around the time when we were starting to move to this new facility. So actually, she went through quarantine about twice as long as a normal captive bred python would that had passed, different testing and all the other fun things like that. Just because of the move back and forth and other animals in quarantine, it was a whole thing. So a lot of people have asked, are we going to try to breed them again? And the answer to that is absolutely yes. They are a proven pair. They have really great dispositions. This guy, it's first thing in the morning when I'm recording this video. The lights, I think, turned on behind me as I'm standing. Oh, no, in front of me turned on, so they'll be turning on in a minute. And these guys are doing really great. He was essentially woken up by me this morning. He's just an absolute stunning, beautiful animal. And I want to make sure the female has more time to put on weight and really get established, because since moving here, she's also moved from a Christmas tree tub to a 4x2 enclosure. So I want to give her a nice full long year to finally finish putting on weight, all of her comfortable things, getting used to the new cage, and we'll actually be pairing him up this coming fall. So as you can see here, this is the boy. He's actually the darker of the two. As I said at the very beginning, there's not as much really kind of variance of them. I believe in Australia there are some different morphs or forms. I think there even might be a true hypo. As far as I'm aware, there isn't an actual albino. I know there are in the black-headed pythons, but I don't think in the Womas. Any Australian people out there, feel free to correct me down in the comments. But I just love these guys. They're an excellent intermediate level snake. They don't get super large, about 4.5, 5 feet long. 5.5 is a really, really big female that you'll ever see. Their husbandry requirements are pretty easy, coming from areas where there's not a whole lot of ambient humidity. You just got to give them a really nice humid hide, and that's pretty much all you need. Again, a little bit more food motivated for somebody who's looking for an easy, always open the tub, just going to sit there, maybe not necessarily for them, but for a very interesting, active, intelligent animal. Cannot highly recommend these guys enough. So hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you want to continue to follow along with my full playlist of all of my reptiles, I'll put it right here, as well as we'll be adding more both shorts and full-length videos like this. Thank you so much. Hope you're having a great day, and we'll check you next time.